Man, today, I just had one of those conversations with myself where, I really had to, get into deep thought and ask myself, what am I doing? What will I have to show up? What will I have, in the next day? Do I have something to show, right? And I kind of, just, got lost into this deep thought, and I was asking myself, like, how do I even make sure that I have something to show? How do I even make sure that there's something else that I can achieve or understand or whatever it is? Because right now, man, nothing makes sense. Like nothing makes sense. You ever had one of those moments where you're trying to, to do your homework and, maybe in school when the teacher was explaining, you understood everything else and you were going with the flow, and I was like, yeah, I understand this, I understand. But the moment you get home, it's like, nah, I don't understand this, man. And at some point, it's not even about finding the answers. It's not only about finding those answers. At some point, it's about like, I just want to understand. I don't need all the answers. I just need to understand what what the hell is happening. Because a lot of us, we talk about, procrastination. We talk about, those taking the first step. We talk about failure. We talk about fear. We talk about a lot of things. We talk about laziness. We talk about, success and all these things. But no one ever talks about, what do you do? What do you do when you find yourself in a position of no understanding? It's like you don't have the power. You want to start. You don't have the fear. You're not even procrastinating. You have the courage and the strength, and you feel like you have God's armor on you to just begin. But you can see the entire staircase, but you cannot see the first step. What do you do when that happens, man? When you have this vision in your head and you're like, I know that I need to get there. I know that I will get there, and this is what it looks like. But what is the first step that I need to take? I mean, it takes me to this, to this thing of saying, you know what? And when God says, I will make a way in the wilderness for you, right? And it takes time to understand what that way is in the wilderness, what it truly means for you to have a way in the wilderness. Because you can walk in life, you can walk how you can. I didn't know how to put that really well, but let me rephrase it. In life, you can take in all the substances that you need, right? You can take in all the crap and feed you, right? Like there's a story of how birds eat, of how some birds eat cow dung, right? You see, the bird would come and it would eat this, the cow dung, right? And after the bird is done eating, right, it has energy, right? And it flies to the to the top branch of the tree, and it stays there. But the moment the energy runs out, it comes back, right? But when the birds eat seeds, right, the seeds, the ones that they find in trees, and the ones they find in trees, the one that we actually buy for birds, right? When those birds eat those trees and, those seeds, right, they actually sustain them more. You see, the moral of the story is that even bullshit can get you to the top, but it's not enough to keep you up there. So I always tell people that it's it's short wins are okay, right? And short cards are necessarily okay at some point. But you have to understand, you need something that's going to sustain you at that top, because you come from a point of not understanding, right? You come from a point that I was talking about where you don't understand anything, and suddenly God comes and he makes a way in the wilderness, right? But right now, you start to feed yourself with bullshit. You start to feed yourself with all these things, and you're taking shortcuts, and you're saying it's all about luck, and you're saying I'm trying my chances, and you're calling yourself a hustler, right? But at some point, you need to stop hustling and start thinking and start to be wise, and start to make smart choices. Because let me tell you something. You can be energized for that moment. You can have everything in that moment. But whatever way that you used to get those things, if it's not enough to sustain you, then it's not worth it. If that thing is not enough for you, if that thing that it's not enough to come in and sustain whatever it is that you've already worked hard for, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, this thing of trying to have pleasure all the time, it's not worth it, man. Because tomorrow you wake up, you have a headache, man. You have a headache tomorrow and it's painful. Then you start to cry, right? You start to cry and the headache gets more worse. The headache keeps on getting more worse. Then you take in, then you take in some, some aspirin or whatever it is. You take in, then your head gets fine, and the next day you get hit with another head, and you keep on doing the next thing. Then you find yourself that you're addicted to this aspirin of yours. What I know that this message, man, it's messed up and it's kind of random and it's all over the place, right? But I just need you to understand something. If it's not able to sustain what God has already blessed you with, if that thing comes to give you a win that is not sustainable, it's not worth it, man. And when I say this, is that understand that God will bless the work of your hands. But when God blesses you something, he can never take it away. When God decides to bless you, he can never take it away. And when God says, yes, it's your time and it's your season, not even the wind can oppose you. Understand that. So today, man, take this as motivation or as some words from a random guy, who's just want to talk nonsense, whatever you can say to yourself. But it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it to take in all the bullshit to sustain you for a short period of time. In life, you need sustenance, man. And when I talk about sustenance, I don't mean about the sustenance of, being comfortable in a bad place. No, I'm talking about the sustenance of knowing that you have purpose, man, The purpose that comes in to sustain you, the purpose that can feed generations and generations. The purpose that is true and good and meaningful, the purpose of God, the purpose that God has filled you with, man. That's what I'm talking about. So keep going, man. Keep trying and keep showing up as best as you can. Hold on a little bit longer, man. Tomorrow is the next day, Tomorrow is a beautiful day. It's a day filled with blessings. It's a day ordained by God, man. And remember this. When you wake up tomorrow and you feel like you have no reason to say thank you for the fact that you have woken up, that's reason enough for you to say thank you. So keep pushing, guys. Keep trying as best as you can. I'm not the most, my voice is not the best to say these words to you, but I just want to say keep pushing, right? And thank you to everyone else who's supported the YouTube channel so far, and keep growing. Please help me to keep growing and subscribe, hit that like button, and the notification bell. Do all the bits and the bits and pieces. Do everything else, and see you in the next one. Say thank you.